You brought your mother with you? Hi, I'm Rita Long for The Happier Attorney, and this is the channel where we talk about mindset and flat fees and all of the things as an attorney that you need to know to just make your practice a little bit happier. So, this video is going to be talking about what happens when third parties, violate boundaries with your client and with you. And depending on your practice area, this can happen more often than in other practice areas. But in some practice areas, especially like family law and criminal law, you will have a third party support person who tries to involve themselves in the case. And mostly, it's family members, but not always. So this video is really talking about boundaries and how you set them and enforce them, and also, balance that, because you don't want to be a jerk to your client, but you have to maintain those boundaries. So here's the situation. This is just one example. So, someone comes in with a person and for an initial consultation, and they want to sit in, or the potential client wants them to sit in, or a third party is calling and wanting to talk to you. And I remember one client, this was, years and years and years ago, came to a meeting with me and literally brought his mother and 5 of her friends. I'm not kidding. It was like, what is happening here? And how do you people all, like, doesn't anybody work? Like, how are you here? So the first issue, of course, is confidentiality. And this is subjective. This is, my practice. If somebody else is there, obviously confidentiality goes out the door. And a lot of times clients will say, oh, it's okay, I'll waive the confidentiality. I want so-and-so here. Yeah, no, because they don't understand truly what that means. But you do. And so I had a firm, no, we don't waive confidentiality. Sorry to upset you, but that person can't come in when I'm talking to you about X, Y, and Z. Maybe they can come in afterwards. That's fine. But when we're really talking about things that are confidential, nobody else can be there, period. Okay? And hopefully this conversation happens before they get into the office, because it's always just really weird and awkward when you go out to meet somebody for an initial consultation and the potential client stands up with their support system standing up. And then you're like, oh, actually, I just need to speak with them. And it's just this awkward, weird thing. So maybe when they make the consultation, maybe your receptionist makes sure that they understand, if they want to bring a support person, that's fine, but that support person can't come in when they're talking to you. Okay. When a third party oversteps bounds in the case, it's very fact specific, but a lot of the time you can kind of redirect. They want to help. And sometimes they want to help. Sometimes they're just busybodies who need to feel like they're in control. Okay. And so, but you have to navigate that. And what I did in a couple situations when a family member, mom generally, was really overstepping the mark, calling me, wanting to know what was going on, blah, 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 blah. I used this analogy with her. I said, imagine I'm driving a school bus with kids in the back, and I am driving downhill on ice. Okay? Now, I need all of my skills. I need 100% concentration. Now, make no mistake, I've done it before. I can get the kids down the hill safely. But what you're doing is, when I'm trying to drive the bus with your grandchild on it safely down the hill, you're tapping me on the shoulder going, well, what about that? Do you see that? Okay, you're distracting me. It's not helpful. And if you keep doing it, it could lead to us crashing. So you need to sit down and be quiet. Okay. That worked. It might sound silly, but it worked. Like, people got it. And sometimes you had to remind them, thank you. Remember, you're tapping me on the shoulder. You need to sit and be quiet. But it seemed to work. Now, the exception to all of this is, again, very factually specific, but sometimes your clients actually need the emotional support, okay, of somebody being there. And again, you just have to really navigate that, and it's your call. Is that person actually going to help the situation, or are they going to stir up the pot? I mean, how many of us in family law have like gone to mediations and the new girlfriend is there? And you're just like, oh, okay, is that ever going to help settle things? No, no, no. So if they're not actually helpful, out. Even if they're helpful, you have to be careful not to, if you're going to be talking about something confidential, then maybe they need to leave the room every once in a while, okay? And then there are other people who actually can be helpful to you that are the voice of reason. Boy, I have used them. I have used them in the past, okay? Again, not disclosing confidential information, but if that person is a support person and a reasonable, level-headed person, that is actually helpful to you. So it's very fact specific and it's a tightrope, but you can navigate it. But always remember that you are the captain of the airplane. You cannot do your job if that control is being yanked out of your hands by your client, much less by your client's mother, okay? That does not work. You cannot have a passenger, much less his mother, setting your policies and procedures. You are in charge, okay? So do not let somebody violate them or push your boundaries. So please like, subscribe, comment if you have liked this video or gotten anything out of it. And if you would like more information on working with me or learning flat fees or mindset, click the link below, go to breedalong.com and join our mailing list. See you next time.